Somewhere in your garden right now, something is eating faster than you can replace it. And it's probably not what you think. While you're watching for aphids, something far bigger is stripping entire plants bare in under 2 days, hiding in plain sight the whole time. There's also one on this list so small you'd need a magnifying glass to see it, yet it can turn healthy leaves bronze and brittle before you even notice it's there. Today we're tracking down all 6, and I'll show you exactly how to stop every one of them before they ruin your harvest, with no spray required unless things really get out of hand. Drop your state and USDA zone in the comments right now. I want to see where every member of this community is growing from. Let's get into it. First, the tomato hornworm, the most destructive of the 6. Bright green, several inches long, and capable of stripping a tomato branch clean in under 48 hours. The mistake most gardeners make is only scanning the top of the plant, when hornworms feed low against the stem, exactly where they're hardest to spot. Check the undersides of branches every couple of days instead. The moment you spot one, hand pick it off into soapy water, and that stops the damage instantly. The quick tip that makes this easier long-term: plant dill or basil nearby, since both draw in the parasitic wasps that hunt hornworms naturally, giving you backup even when you're not out there checking yourself. In warmer zones, expect them June through August. In cooler zones, July into early September. If an infestation outpaces hand picking, here's the mix to reach for: a tablespoon of neem oil, a teaspoon of mild liquid soap, and a liter of water, combined well and misted over the affected branches in the evening, making sure it reaches the undersides of the leaves where they feed. One thing worth knowing: if you ever see small white rice-like clusters on a hornworm's back, leave it alone. Those are parasitic wasp eggs already doing the job for you. Next, the Japanese beetle, metallic green, feeds in groups, and releases a scent once feeding starts that pulls more beetles straight to the same plant, which is why numbers explode within days. The mistake most gardeners make is treating only the adults they see and ignoring the grubs living in the soil beneath their lawn all winter, which simply re-emerge the following year to start the cycle over. The fix that actually works is timing. Go out in the early morning while they're slow and sluggish, hand-pick them, and drop them straight into soapy water. Do this daily during their peak window, generally June through July depending on your zone, and you'll keep numbers from ever building into a swarm. The quick tip for next year's population: apply beneficial nematodes to your lawn in late summer while the soil is still warm and the grubs are feeding near the surface, since that's when the nematodes reach them most effectively. Planting garlic or chives near vulnerable crops also helps, since the scent interferes with how beetles track feeding sites. If a section of your garden is already overwhelmed, this is your last resort, not your first move. 1 teaspoon of Castile soap dissolved into half a liter of water, shaken well, then misted directly over the clustered beetles to knock them down fast, since it can affect beneficial insects too. Ignore the first few beetles you see, and you'll often find dozens feeding together on the same plant by the end of the week. Tell me in the comments, have you ever watched a Japanese beetle infestation take over a plant in just a few days? I want to know how fast it happened for you. Third, the squash bug. Flat, brownish-gray, and it injects a toxin into vines that causes wilting even when the soil is still moist. The mistake almost everyone makes is checking only for the adult insect and missing the real solution entirely, which is the egg clusters hiding on the undersides of leaves. Check there every few days and simply crush any clusters you find before they hatch, since that stops the next generation before it starts. The quick tip for the adults already present: place a strip of wood or cardboard near the base of the plant overnight. Squash bugs gather underneath it after dark, and in the morning you can collect and remove the entire group at once, dropping them straight into soapy water before they scatter. Interplanting nasturtiums near your squash and pumpkin vines also helps, since they act as a decoy that draws squash bugs away from your main crop. When the infestation spreads across multiple plants, step it up. Blend a tablespoon of neem oil and a teaspoon of soap into a liter of water, and apply it to the base of the vines in the evening, pairing it with the trap method rather than replacing it. Active from late June through August, so keep this check going through that stretch. By the time the vine wilts and collapses, it's usually too late to save it. If you're finding value in this, hit subscribe now. We've still got 3 more pests coming, including the one most gardeners never catch until the damage is already done. Fourth, the cabbage worm, small and pale green, blending into cabbage, broccoli, and kale leaves. The mistake most gardeners make is waiting until they see the caterpillar itself, when the real damage is already set in motion, the moment moths lay their eggs unnoticed. The solution that actually works starts before the caterpillar even exists. Use lightweight row covers early in the season to physically block the small white moths from landing on your plants, making sure the edges are secured firmly into the soil so they can't sneak in from the sides. The quick tip: if moths are already active, check the undersides of leaves for tiny yellow, torpedo-shaped eggs, and remove them by hand before they hatch. Planting thyme or sage along the border of your cabbage bed also helps confuse the moths and reduces how many eggs get laid in the first place. For caterpillars already feeding, 1 teaspoon of Castile soap stirred into half a liter of water does the job. Misted directly over them without harming the plant, though this should back up your row covers, never replace them. Skip the row covers just once, and you can lose an entire head of cabbage to holes before you even notice the moths were there. Fifth, aphids. Tiny, soft-bodied, clustered on new growth, and capable of producing up to 80 offspring in a single week without even needing to mate. The mistake most gardeners make is waiting until leaves visibly curl or distort before acting, by which point the colony has already multiplied many times over. The solution that works fastest is also the simplest: a strong blast of water from your hose aimed directly at the undersides of leaves. This knocks them off the plant, and once they hit the ground, they're too feeble to climb back up. Do this every couple of days on affected plants for about a week, and you'll get ahead of it completely. No spray required for most cases. The quick tip for the long run: grow sweet alyssum or dill nearby to draw in ladybugs and lacewings, both of which feed heavily on aphids and will keep populations down without any effort on your part once they've settled in. Heavier infestation than your hose can handle? Half a liter of water with 1 teaspoon of Castile soap mixed in will coat and suffocate them on contact. And if it's truly out of control, the same neem oil blend from earlier, 1 tablespoon with a teaspoon of soap in a liter of water, works here too, but only once, nothing else has. Wait even a week too long, and a few aphids on 1 leaf can spread to every new shoot on the plant. If you've made it this far, subscribe so you don't miss next week's gardening guide. Every week we share practical gardening tips to help you grow healthier plants and bigger harvests. Sixth, and this is the one worth paying closest attention to, spider mites. They're barely visible to the naked eye, pale yellow or reddish specks that gather on the undersides of leaves, and by the time you notice fine webbing between the stems, the population has already exploded. The mistake nearly every gardener makes is spotting the tiny yellow or bronze speckling on the leaf surface and assuming it's a watering problem or nutrient deficiency, when it's actually the clearest early sign of mites. The solution that works best here is prevention through consistent moisture, since spider mites thrive in hot, dry conditions and multiply fastest when plants are stressed from drought. Water deeply and consistently, and mist the undersides of vulnerable leaves during hot spells to raise humidity and make conditions less favorable for them. The quick tip: once you spot the early speckling, a strong spray of water directly under the leaves every few days will physically knock mites off and disrupt their webbing before it spreads. Once mites are established, don't just spray the surface. Mix a teaspoon of Castile soap into half a liter of water and drench the undersides of the leaves, pushing the spray directly into the webbing itself, since mites hiding inside it survive a surface pass. Repeat every 3 to 4 days for 2 weeks, since mite eggs continue hatching during that window even after adults are gone. Most active during the hottest, driest stretches of summer, so increase your inspection frequency the moment a heat wave hits, since that is exactly when populations move from a few dozen to thousands within days. By the time you notice the webbing with your own eyes, the leaves underneath are often already beyond saving. Here's what ties all six together. Healthy soil, consistent watering, and regular inspection make your plants far less appealing targets from the start, which means fewer pests to solve for in the first place. And if you want a faster way to match damage to the exact pest causing it, our Plantoria guide includes a quick symptom lookup built for exactly this, so you can identify the problem in seconds instead of guessing. Link in the description. Enjoyed this? Subscribe for a new practical gardening guide every week. Before you go, tell me which of these 6 pests is ruining your harvest right now, and if your family has a traditional method passed down for dealing with any of them, share it below so others can learn. Traditional techniques, real results. No hype. See you in the next one.